The United States Treasury Department presents The Adventures of Superman.
Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Look, up in the sky. It's a bird.
It's a plane.
It's Superman. Yes, it's Superman. Strange visitor from another planet who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. Superman, who can change the course of mighty rivers, bend steel in his bare hands, and who, disguised as Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth, justice, and the American way.
Welcome to the Easton Community Access Television and the Old Time TV Show.
An eclectic collection of classic comedy, drama, and variety shows. Join us as we travel back in time to the earliest days of broadcast television. And now, on to the show.
Hello, welcome to the Old Time TV Show. This episode we'll be exploring two different shows featuring the Man of Steel Superman. First, we'll be watching the 9 episodes of the 1940s Fleischer Studios Superman theatrical shorts, from 1941's self-titled Superman through 1942's Terror on the Midway. Afterwards, we'll be jumping from animation to live action with the 1950s series Adventures of Superman starring George Reeves. Only one episode of this series is in the public domain. It is 1954's Stamp Day for Superman, which is an episode that was produced for the United States Treasury Department. Now, on to the show.
In the endless reaches of the universe, there once existed a planet known as Krypton, a planet that burned like a green star in the distant heavens. There, civilization was far advanced and had brought forth a race of supermen whose mental and physical powers were developed to the absolute peak of human perfection. But there came a day when giant quakes threatened to destroy Krypton forever. One of the planet's leading scientists, sensing the approach of doom, placed his infant son in a small rocket ship and sent it hurtling in the direction of the Earth just as Krypton exploded. The rocket ship sped through star-studded space, landing safely on Earth with its precious burden, Krypton's sole survivor. A passing motorist found the uninjured child and took it to an orphanage. As the years went by and the child grew to maturity, he found himself possessed of amazing physical powers. Faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive, able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. The infant of Krypton is now the Man of Steel, Superman. To best be in a position to use his amazing powers in a never-ending battle for true justice, Superman has assumed the disguise of Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper.
Kent, I want to see you. Just received another threatening note.
Okay, Mr. White.
Lois, another note from the mad scientist.
Coming in, Chief.
Now listen to this warning. He plans to strike tonight. Beware, you fools. My electrothanasia ray strikes tonight at 12. Total destruction will come to those who laughed at me and failed to heed my warnings. Beware. I strike at midnight. This nut may prove dangerous. Kent, you help Lois follow up her lead. She may have an angle on this thing.
Yes, sir. But, Chief, I'd like the chance to crack the story on my own.
Well, no.
Thanks, Chief.
But, Lois... Chief, don't you think that's a dangerous mission?
Come.
I'm a reporter for the...
So, you want a story? I'll give you the greatest story of destruction the world has ever known. How is that for a story, Miss Lane?
Flash, true to his threat, the mad scientist, whose warnings have held the city in a grip of terror, went on his rampage of destruction on the stroke of midnight. The deadly impact of his mysterious ray smashed the famous Tower Bridge, hurling cars and pedestrians into the river below. The police have warned everyone to remain in their homes.
This looks like a job for Superman.
isn't human!
Congratulations, Lois. That was a great scoop.
Yes, Chief, thanks to Superman.
Here we go. My name is Harrison Young, and after 13 years of talk show experience, I seek to bring you the best in interviews with some of the very best guests around, including, and here we are, experts.
I've seen thousands of demons actually come out of the mirror one time.
Wow. Musical guests and artists.
If I say how I feel, would you really listen?
And interesting characters of all types.
I threw that kid across the classroom. Look, he didn't try that ever again.
Wow. Join me at Topic Time on your Eastern cable station anytime they want to play it. And from what I understand, that's quite a few times a day. And I love it.
Up in the sky, look! It's a bird! It's a plane! It's Superman!
Faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive, able to leap tall buildings at a single bound, this amazing stranger from the planet Krypton, the Man of Steel, Superman. Empowered with X-ray vision, possessing remarkable physical strength, Superman fights a never-ending battle for truth and justice, disguised as a mild-mannered newspaper reporter, Clark Kent.
Lois, what are you doing here?
Oh, just getting the woman's angle on this story.
The mechanical monster! Look out!
You wait here. I'll phone this in. Yes, I'll give you the details later, Chief. All right, Lois. Lois! This is a job for Superman.
What a story this is going to make.
The jewels. What have you done with the jewels?
You'll read about it in tomorrow's paper.
Are you going to tell me what happened to those jewels?
Won't tell me. You'll soon change your mind. Superman! step and she's doomed.
That's a wonderful story, Lois.
Thanks, Clark, but I owe it all to Superman.
Hi, I'm Ron Van Dam. I've been in radio for 3 decades now and have been doing a daily podcast-style show for a few years. But once a week, I come to the ECAT studio where they give me wine and cheese, and I do a TV version of the podcast. I talk about what's going on in the world and in the area and give my opinions on things. And these adults are being slaughtered. Like every you know, there's heads rolling all over the place and blood and guts. I mean, if that happened in your neighborhood, it would not be considered entertainment for the family. Wednesday, we're doing arms. Thursday, we're doing ears. And Friday is my physical workout dental day, where I work my teeth. I realize that I can never be the Pope like I wanted to be, because apparently they don't interview for that. You just kind of become one. So tune in to see me move my mouth while I talk. Who knows? We might have something in common. Probably not, but you never know. I find that the consumption of alcoholic beverages makes this show that much better. Catch my show here, The Ron Van Dam Show, right here on ECAT.
Hold on tight. Things can get a bit weird if you like that sort of thing.
Up in the sky, look!
It's a bird!
It's a plane! It's Superman! Faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive, able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. The infant of Krypton is now the Man of Steel, Superman. To best be in a position to use his amazing powers in a never-ending battle for truth and justice, Superman has assumed the disguise of Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper.
Sorry I can't go with you, Lois, but I have another story to cover.
Oh, that's all right, Clark. I'll see you in the office.
This looks like a job for Superman.
Superman!
Uncanny how Superman turns up just when you need him.
I didn't even get a chance to thank him.
Hi, I'm Jen from Fantasy Crafts. Turn your average household items into fun for the whole family. Let your imagination run wild. It was my decision. You be quiet over there. Fantasy Crafts playing Monday at 3 p.m., Wednesday at 1 p.m., only at ECAT.
Up in the sky, look! It's a bird! It's a plane! It's Superman!
faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive, able to leap tall buildings at a single bound, this amazing stranger from the planet Krypton, the Man of Steel, Superman. Possessing remarkable physical strength, Superman fights a never-ending battle for truth and justice, disguised as a mild-mannered newspaper reporter, Clark Kent. Penetrating deep into the frozen wastes of the great Arctic plains, an archaeological expedition searching for prehistoric fossils makes an amazing discovery. A huge monster, as lifelike in appearance as when it roamed the Earth millions of years ago in the Mesozoic Age, is found frozen in the ice in a state of perfect preservation. Constantly handicapped by the hazardous sub-zero elements, the scientists and their band of tireless workers succeed in removing the mammoth creature from the frozen pit. The ice-encased monster is loaded into the hold of a huge freighter equipped with a special refrigeration plant and brought to this country. Here, in a specially constructed wing of the Museum of Natural Science, this awe-inspiring creature is displayed to the public for the first time.
And you mean to say that if the ice were permitted to thaw, there's a possibility the monster might still be alive? Thank you, Professor.
Yes, Chief.
Lois, there's a new angle on that frozen monster story. Get over to the museum and see what's doing. They've got him in a special refrigerator.
Okay, Chief.
Oh, Lois, want me to go over there with you?
No, thanks. You'd probably faint if you saw the monster. You scare so easily.
Maybe she's right, but Superman hasn't fainted yet.
And produces the necessary refrigeration. The control board is downstairs. I'll show it. The entire plant is operated from this board. The thermometer must be watched constantly, as any rise in temperature might prove dangerous.
Cut those switches!
Boy, what a story.
Outside, everybody. Step lively, please. Use the nearest exit. Please, folks, keep moving. We have to clear this room at once.
That's what he thinks.
Police headquarters. Hello, Chief. Send the riot squad. We're in trouble.
Hello, Planet. Give me the city desk. Hurry!
Some men down here. Attention, all cars. Proceed to fit the men at once.
Chief, Lois is in the museum.
Better get over there, Kent.
Right. This looks like a job for Superman. Lois!
Superman!
You'd better get back to your office where you'll be safe. I've got some work to do.
Yes, sir. And this the best story in years? Swell chance.
This time, stay put.
Yes, my lord, and thanks.
You showed plenty of courage getting that monster story, Lois.
Thanks, but where were you?
Me? Oh, I must have fainted.
Good evening and welcome to another edition of For the Love of Words. After a 3-year hiatus, join me, John Holgerson, and
Priscilla Almquist Olson,
as we interview poets and musicians. Could you give the audience a little summary of your background as a child?
When I turned 7 or so, we were car bombed. That stuck out.
And have them share their love of words.
Sometimes I wonder, do you ever think of me?
A thin broth of moonlight caught in the trees spreads across the garden brush, so one side of every stick shimmers while the other sides melt into one another, a mass grave of cherry, pear, and pine.
For the Love of Words at 7 p.m. on Thursdays.
Look! It's a bird! It's a plane! It's Superman!
Faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive, able to leap tall buildings at a single bound, this amazing stranger from the planet Krypton, the Man of Steel, Superman. Possessing remarkable physical strength, Superman fights a never-ending battle for truth and justice, disguised as a mild-mannered newspaper reporter, Clark Kent.
Lois Lane and Clark Kent. Give me a follow-up on this bullet car story.
Attention. The destruction of your police station today was only a small demonstration of our power. Unless your mayor turns over the entire funds of the city treasury, power plants, firehouses, and all municipal buildings will be next. Take heed. This is your last warning.
What are the authorities going to do about this, Mr. Mayor?
We won't be intimidated by criminal threats. Law and order must and will prevail.
This looks like a job for Superman. going, Lois? Another great scoop for you.
It was easy. Thanks to Superman.
Don't have time to sit down and watch ECAT programs? Don't worry, ECAT has got you covered. That's right, ECAT has
podcasts!
Yes. ECAT Podcast Channel has your favorite shows that you could listen to. Whether you want to chill and listen to the Ron Van Dam Show and hear him talk about what's bothering him that day, or the show hosted by local legends Stephanie Weinstein and Meredith Keach, where they talk about anything and everything, or take a listen to the weekly news hosted by Jack Ryan and Abby Kitchenham. Stay tuned in with Tiger Talk hosted by Oliver Ames students. Community Forum is where their host Priscilla talks about all things Easton. Easton residents can also find government meetings about various topics. You can find the podcast on Podbean and all your favorite podcast platforms. Just by searching ECAT or the ECAT podcast, you can find it all. The ECAT podcast channel is powered by Podbean, so either in the car ride or walking around town, you can always catch what's going on with ECAT. Happy listening!
Up in the sky, look!
It's a bird!
It's a plane! It's Superman!
Faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive, able to leap tall buildings at a single bound, this amazing stranger from the planet Krypton, the Man of Steel, Superman. Possessing remarkable physical strength, Superman fights a never-ending battle for truth and justice, disguised as a mild-mannered newspaper reporter, Clark Kent.
What do you think of the professor's show now?
I still think it's pretty dangerous business.
Hope nothing goes wrong.
And I realize, gentlemen, that the safety of the public is of special import to you. Perhaps almost as important to you as my ambitions are to me. But you request that I give up my experiments which are the culmination of 30 years of dreaming and planning, is impossible. Tonight, those dreams will become real. The Comet of Falcon will be my toy. Under my control, it will be brought to within a mile of us. Then, after a close examination, I'll send it back again into space.
You're tampering with nature endangers thousands of lives.
Yes, and even at the possible cost of those lives, I shall continue my experiment.
I warn you, Professor, we're prepared to stop you.
And I warn you, sir, any interference may prove disastrous. Stop! Listen to me, you meddling fools.
Do you know that the power...
Without that power, the comet is out of my control. The pull of gravity will bring it crashing to Earth any minute. Stop! Do you hear?
City editor.
Look, Chief, the panic's on. The thing's gone haywire.
Lois. Lois, what happened? Lois. Look. Are you all right?
Yes, for the moment, but
Miss Lane, the control.
Oh, Superman, you were wonderful.
You're pretty wonderful yourself.
Oh, how did you get here?
Thanks to Superman.
Hello, welcome to Easton News. I'm Abby Kitchenham.
And I'm Jack Ryan, and together we bring you everything you need to know about Easton, including politics.
The annual town election is scheduled for Saturday, April 22nd, 2023.
Community events.
Be Inspired. Counseling presents a parent and child coping workshop centered around a new year and new beginnings.
And sports.
Pressure builds diamonds, so we live by that every day of practice, going into every game.
With APCSM guest segment Pet of the Week.
Hi, I'm Katie with the Animal Protection Center, and today we have a little Iris.
With help from special correspondent Wyatt Fain. Join us
for Easton News.
Playing 6 o'clock Friday, Saturday, and Sundays.
Up in the sky, look! It's a bird! It's a plane! It's Superman!
faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive, able to leap tall buildings at a single bound, this amazing stranger from the planet Krypton, the Man of Steel, Superman. Possessing remarkable physical strength, Superman fights a never-ending battle for truth and justice, disguised as a mild-mannered newspaper reporter, Clark Kent.
And I still say Manhattan rightfully belongs to my people.
Possibly, but just what do you expect us to do about it?
You have a newspaper. Publish the truth. Have the island vacated immediately.
It's fantastic.
Why, that's ridiculous.
Ridiculous? Maybe modern science will make you think differently.
I've never heard anything so absurd.
You know, from the look in his eyes, I'd almost believed he was in earnest.
No, he's just a harmless crank.
Come ahead, Miss Lane. You wouldn't want to miss this story, I'm sure. Just a precautionary measure. Now, Miss Lane, get ready for the greatest story of your career.
Come on, Kent. Let's get out of here. This looks
like a job for Superman.
A girl is still down there.
The old island looks just as good as ever.
That's right, Clark. Thanks to Superman.
In 2023, Easton is a tight-knit community of 25,000 people. But with the hustle and bustle of modern life, it's easy to forget our past. A time when Easton's population was 6,000.
Everybody knew who everybody
everybody
was.
And there was respect.
There was respect for everyone.
When kids enjoyed great freedom and independence.
Everybody was poor at today's standards, but we all were in the same boat and we enjoyed life.
So join me, Priscilla Almquist-Olsen, as I explore what makes Easton so very special with some of its lifetime residents.
I think Easton has so much to offer, and if you're living in a community, you have to know it.
Watch Growing Up in Easton Tuesdays at 7 p.m. and Friday at 9 p.m. See you then.
Faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive, able to soar higher than any plane, this amazing stranger from the planet Krypton, the Man of Steel, Superman. Possessing remarkable physical strength, Superman fights a never-ending battle for truth and justice, disguised as a mild-mannered newspaper reporter, Clark Kent.
On this peaceful island, crowned by the great volcano Mount Mauna Kea, occurred the mightiest eruption that ever shook the earth, burying the beautiful city beneath it in molten lava and creating destructive tidal waves that raced around the world. For 300 years, this mighty volcano lay dormant. A new and more beautiful city sprang up at its base. But now, after centuries of inactivity, slight tremors are being felt. At the Bureau of Meteorology, a group of scientists watchfully check delicate instruments to determine the seriousness of this renewed activity.
And I want you to send me some real stories. Now, here are your steamship tickets, and here are your press passes. You'll need these down there. Goodbye, good luck, and for Pete's sake, see if you two can work together for a change. Right, Chief.
So long.
That's funny. Say, Lois, do you have my press pass?
What makes you think I've got it?
Sorry, sir, but you'll have to get one down at headquarters. Thanks. You go on ahead, Lois, and I'll join you later. Now, what did I do with that?
Poor Clark. Too bad he lost his pass.
And from all indications, we can expect things to start popping at any time. In order to save the city, we've decided to blast the higher rim of the crater, thereby diverting the flow of lava away from the city and into the ocean below.
Is the chief in? I'd like to see him about a press pass.
He'll be back shortly. Won't you have a seat?
Thanks. Wait here. Hello? Hello? Send up that car. Hello? 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 Miss Lane? This way! Lois! This looks like a job for Superman.
How's the story coming, Lois?
Oh, fine, Clark. Too bad you weren't in on it.
Maybe I would have been if I hadn't lost my past.
There's a storm.
Join me, Priscilla Almquist-Olsen, to explore the town of Easton and its interesting, engaging, ordinary, and extraordinary people, and meet a smorgasbord of guests, including artists, authors, musicians, business owners, community organizations, clergy, local leaders, etc., etc., etc. Community Forum at 3 p.m. on Thursdays and 1:30 p.m. on Saturdays. See you then.
Up in the sky, look! It's a bird! It's a plane! It's Superman!
Faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive, able to soar higher than any plane, this amazing stranger from the planet Krypton, the Man of Steel, Superman. Possessing remarkable physical strength, Superman fights a never-ending battle for truth and justice, disguised as a mild-mannered newspaper reporter, Clark Kent.
Nuts, popcorn, get your hot roast
All right, folks, only a dime. 1/10 of a dollar. You're just about to witness the most amazing sample of Toxicolian art the world has ever seen.
Sorry, old fellow.
Fine thing. Ace newspaper woman scares monkeys.
Ace newspaper woman reviews circus. What an assignment.
Yeah, too bad, Lois. Looks like a great night for a murder or fire or something.
Hurry, hurry, hurry. Step right up and
That's
get your
your cue,
ticket,
Lois.
folks. The
Too
show's
late.
about
See
to
you up.
start. Only a few minutes before the performance begins. So hurry, hurry, hurry.
going, Joe. Let's see what's cooking. This is a job for Superman. Lucky Lois. Always gets her story.
And luckily, she lives to write it.
Thanks to Superman.
Welcome back to ye old masterpiece puppet theater, Eastern Edition. Tonight's tale, we have a beautiful ballerina with a quandary and a tiger who is most helpful. Let's join the action.
Oh me, oh my, how can I get my message out to the community? How?
Hey, how's it going?
Terrible. Oh, woe is me. Woe, I say.
Well, what's the problem?
I have this terrific, important message to get out to the community, and I just don't know how to reach everyone.
That's not a problem. That's easy.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, here in Easton, we have a great use force for community members to share their voice with everyone. ECAT.
Is this a cat thing?
No,
ECAT equals Easton Community Access Television, our community's own television station exclusively for Easton residents.
Oh. Yeah, I'm not really tech savvy.
Oh, I know. But that's not really a problem either. The folks at ECAT will train you on everything. Cameras, studio, editing, the works.
No.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah way. They can even put your message on a bulletin board so when shows are not airing, your message can be read by everyone.
That's great, but I don't have that kind of cash.
It's all free to the residents of Easton.
No way.
Yes, way.
Awesome.
It really is. What's this important message anyway?
2 words, my kitty. Party.
You want to advertise a party?
No, no, no. I want to let everyone know about my super awesome community block party. Yeah.
Thank you again for joining us on Ye Olde Masterpiece Puppet Theater. And please come into ECAT and make television.
The United States Treasury Department presents The Adventures of Superman. Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Look, up in the sky. It's a bird.
It's a plane.
It's Superman. Yes, it's Superman. Strange visitor from another planet who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. Superman, who can change the course of mighty rivers, bend steel in his bare hands, and who, disguised as Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth, justice, and the American way.
Clark, aren't they the cutest puppies you ever saw?
They sure are, but did you ever see a puppy that wasn't cute?
I wish the shop was open so I could hold one.
You're doing the next best thing. You've had me standing in front of that window for the last, 20 minutes? Yes.
Clark, look.
Oh, no, Lois. Do you realize this is the 18th window you stopped at? And furthermore, do you realize that according to my calculations, at this rate, it'll take me until the middle of next week to walk you home?
If you're in a hurry, I'm sure I can manage alone.
I'll tell you what. You look in half the windows, and I'll look in the other half. That way it'll just take us half as long.
But you don't understand. Shopping is an art.
Someone else is shopping. And from the inside, too.
There's an all-night drugstore in the corner. I'll call the police.
Partner went out the door as soon as the alarm went off. You don't have to worry about me, though. I'm not going to run away. You mean you deliberately stayed when you could have gotten away? Well, I've never done anything like this before, Superman. It was all like a dream until that alarm went off and woke me up. Well, I realized that I can run from the police, but I can't run from myself. It's easy to see that you're new at this sort of thing. Why did you do it? Why? That's what I keep asking myself. Sure, it was the money, but it went deeper than that. I should have learned how to save and handle money a long time ago. Then this wouldn't have happened. Well, I'm sorry it did, but at least you've learned something very important. Well, pretty bad way to learn it, don't you think? Well, here they come, Superman. Gee, I feel a little better for having someone to talk to. Thanks. That's all right, son. Now, you can do me a favor. Don't tell them I was here. Sure. Get the gun.
Never mind, Clark. I already got the story. Too bad you went running off in the wrong direction again.
Well, this isn't the first time you scooped me, Lois.
And I haven't finished. I got more than just a story. I got a good look at the second burglar.
What? You mean the one that got away? You saw him?
No. He must have gone out the back way and up the other alleys I passed. We bumped right into each other.
Well, I hope you don't bump into him again.
Pretty nifty, isn't it, Mr. Kent? I can almost carry it in my pocket. Now, if I have any special outside assignments, I can carry my typewriter with me.
That's right, Jimmy. It looks like a good practical investment to me.
There it is. Eyewitness report of a burglary that didn't burgle too well.
Well, congratulations, Lois.
Gee, that's cute.
Cute? Can't you think of some other word to call it, Miss Lane? I don't want to be known as the boy with the cute typewriter.
I'm afraid it's hopeless, Jimmy. I once knew a woman who referred to the Grand Canyon as cute.
Well, whatever you call it, I didn't know the chief was handing out raises.
Oh, I didn't get a raise.
Then I didn't know he was handing out rich uncles.
In a way, I guess you could say an uncle had something to do with it. Uncle Sam. When I was in school, I used to buy Treasury savings stamps every week. By the time I graduated, they turned into bonds.
So you cashed in the bonds on this typewriter?
Only part of them. You see, the interest I got on my investment made the bonds worth a lot more than what I put into them.
Well, it's very interesting, Jimmy. And speaking of learning to save, that ties in exactly with something I heard last night.
And when did you hear anything about saving last night, Mr. Kent? I was with you all the time, remember?
Oh, yes, Lois. Well, this must have been some other evening when you weren't with me. Jimmy, do they still have stamp day at your old alma mater?
As far as I know, every Thursday.
And this is Thursday, isn't it? That gives me an idea. Why not do a feature article on how the kids help themselves and Uncle Sam by buying bonds and stamps?
Cheapers, I'll go along with that.
Good. How about you, Lois?
I'd love to, but I have a date with Inspector Henderson. Have to look through the mug books for that speedy gentleman I met in the alley last night.
Well, then come on over later. P.S. number 10.
Fine. Meet you there in an hour. Jim.
Yes, Miss Lane?
I was wondering, could I borrow your typewriter? Thank you.
Morning, boys.
Good morning, Mr. Garwood.
I'd like you to meet Mr. Kent and Jimmy Olsen from the Planet. Hi, fellas.
Mr. Kent, you're the friend of Superman, aren't you?
Well, we do keep in pretty close contact, yes.
Boy, if Superman would come over, I bet we'd really have a stamp day.
Well, I can't promise you anything, but it might be arranged. The booth looks very nice, boys.
Thank you very much.
Hello?
Miss Lane, this is Blinky. Remember me?
Blinky? Oh, of course. Why, we used to go to Sunday school picnics together.
Now you're thinking of the wrong Blinky. The only Sunday school picnic I ever went to was in reform school. Then they took us all out to chase butterflies. The one I chased just happened to fly into a moving boxcar. So what could I do? You know, Miss Lane, I chased that butterfly all the way up to San Francisco.
Well, let's not compare life histories, Blinky. What do you want?
Well, I'm the guy that ran into you yesterday. You know, by the jewelry store?
Then you're the...
The guy they're looking for. They're bound to get me, Miss Lane, so I'm going to surrender.
Well, that's fine, Blinky. You're doing the right thing.
But I ain't going to surrender to the police. I'm only surrendering to you personal.
Me?
Sure. They'll liable to give me a break if I walk in with you. Look, meet me on the corner of Chestnut and Warlow in exactly a half hour, but alone.
Well, I'm not sure I'll recognize you.
You'll recognize me, all right. In a half hour.
Inspector Henderson, Lois Lane. I'll be a little late for our appointment. I have a surprise to pick up for you first.
Yes, Mr. Kent, we're pretty proud of our students. Stamp Day is really their idea, you know. You mean they do the whole thing themselves? Take the orders, collect the money, and keep their own books?
And believe me, it isn't easy. But it sure is a good feeling at the end of the day when everything comes out all right.
When it comes to buying savings stamps, Jimmy, I'm afraid everything's bound to come out all right. They'll start taking orders at lunch period. Now, that's an hour and a half from now.
Mr. Kent, if you could get word to Superman...
Well, Mr. Garwood, I'll do the best I can, but right now I'm very worried about Lois. She should have been here by now. May I use your phone?
Certainly.
Thank you. Mr. White's office, please.
White speaking.
Chief, this is Kent. What's happened to Lois?
Kent, I spend half my life attempting to keep track of you, Lois, or young Olson. I spend the other half regretting that I spent the first half trying to keep track of you.
I'm afraid you lost me on that last curve. When did she leave?
About an hour ago, she stuck her head in the door and said, Chief, I have a date with a Heitzman to wrap him up and put him on ice. As usual, it didn't make much sense.
I'm afraid it makes too much sense, Chief. I'll be right over. I'm sorry I have to go. You stay here.
But, Mr... No buts about it, Olson. You stick around.
The things I can walk into with my eyes wide open.
It ain't your fault, Miss Lane. I ain't got nothing against you personal, except you can put the finger on me.
So can Jess Dunlap, your partner in crime.
Nah, Jess was in on the job. His testimony don't mean a thing.
And what's going to happen to me?
Gotta get rid of you, Miss Lane. But not until I get a call from the guy that's selling the jewelry for me.
And in the meantime, if anybody catches up with you, you use me as a shield, right?
That's what I like, a girl with brains.
If that's what you like, find another girl. I obviously don't have any brains or I wouldn't be here.
Hey, I got an idea. Look, I'm going to be out of the country a long time, right? Well, I got to keep in touch with my pals by writing letters, right? And being as how nobody can read my handwriting, you can teach me how to run this little gadget. How about it?
Sure, why not? But who's going to teach those friends of yours how to read?
What a sense of humor. Nothing but laughs right up to the end.
Thanks for reminding me. Well, start with lesson 1.
Gee, that's beautiful, Miss Lane. Every time I think of this line, I'll think of you. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog.
That's all I know, Kent. She phoned Henderson and said she'd be late. She hasn't shown up. Well, it's a safe guess that whoever she saw last night has lured her into some kind of a trap.
Well, unfortunately, that doesn't help us locate the trap.
And there's only one lead I can think of. I'm going down to the jail and talk to Jess Dunlap.
Oh, Kent.
Yes, sir.
I didn't really mean all those things I said.
I know you didn't, Chief.
Say, I'm doing pretty good on this one, Miss Lane. Out of 100 letters, I only made 95 mistakes.
You're doing fine, Blinky. You'll make some woman a wonderful secretary.
Hey, what's that you're doing?
I was just going to show you how to draw pictures with a typewriter.
No, ain't that something?
No, if you look too close, it doesn't look like a picture anymore. You have to hold it far away, and then the letters sort of blur together. Why don't you try one?
Sure. Don't go no further. I like you real close.
I was just going to test flight my airplane.
You can test flight it from right over there.
Anything you say, Blinky. Now look what I did.
So you can make another one.
Oh, thanks, Blinky. I don't feel much like playing games. Especially when you should be getting that phone call soon.
Nothing to get excited about, Chief. I talked to Jess, all right. And he identified the other fellow, but he doesn't know where he lives.
Well, now, don't worry about me. I haven't suddenly gone childish. But take a look at this.
Daily Planet Urgent.
Someone found it on the street and brought it in. Take a look inside.
Well, if that somebody thinks this is any time for practical jokes. Wait a minute, Chief. Just a second. Look here among the X's.
Prisoner, top floor, 18 Cedar Street. Kent, that's it.
Well, if it is, I hope we're in time.
Get me the police.
I better get over there, Chief. I might be able to be of some help.
Yeah. Yeah? Good. That's a call I've been waiting for, Miss Lane. Everything's been taken care of, except you.
Blakey, don't. You just get a few years for the jewel robbery, but for this...
That's the chance I gotta take. No, I don't believe it.
You will, Blanky. You will.
You're just wasting your ammunition, Blinky. Sit down.
Hey, let me out. Let me out!
Another few seconds and it would have been too late, Superman.
Well, it wasn't, Miss Lane, and that's what counts. What time is it?
Just about 12:30.
Well, I can't wait for the police. I have an appointment date. Excuse me.
You won't have to worry about riding your pals now, Blinky.
Hiya, boys and gals. There can only be one Superman, of course. Did you ever think about some of the super things that you can do for yourself? Well, like saving up the money for your own vacation, or for that new bike that you wanted so much. Well, all you have to do is just put away part of your allowance or your odd job money and put it in United States savings stamps at school. Those dimes, quarters, and dollars add up mighty fast, especially when you buy them every week on stamp day. Well, the first thing you know, you'll have enough for a savings bond, just like Dad buys for the payroll savings at work. And from then on, the sky's the limit. Take it from Superman. Your mom and Dad will be plenty proud of you if you're learning to save regularly. And the teachers are on your team, too. They make sure of having savings stamps at school for you to buy and remind you when it is stamp day. And so, boys and girls, be super citizens and have a super future by saving regularly with United States savings stamps at school. And keep on making me and everyone else as proud of you as we are today. Bye now. Laws, it's good to see you again.
All in a day's work, Clark. While you were out covering stamp day, Superman and I were cleaning up a case.
It looks like Blinky's going to get jailed, Jess is going to get probation, and I'm going to get my typewriter back.
Golly, Jim, it's a lucky thing for me you saved your money for that typewriter. Otherwise, I'd never gotten that note out.
It turned into a happy ending for everybody.
And just to make the ending a little more happy, I have a present for each of us.
Cheaper stamp albums. Thank you, Mr. Kent.
You have an extra one. Who's that for?
Oh, just for a friend of mine.
Hi guys, it's Eating with ECAT on the road, and we're here at McGuire's Bar and Grill today.
Let's eat. So, if we could start with some apps, if we could try out your honey hot tenders, because they're a big seller. A little bit of the honey hot chicken tenders. They call them tenderloins, chicken tenderloins. Okay. It's like your classic buffalo tender with that good. You can see how crunchy and crispy the outside is, but there's a glaze of sweet that is changing the game here. I'm thinking about these lamb lollipop chops, if that's possible. I think those sound amazing. Gotta put in those.
I didn't know, but this is honestly the best meat I've ever had. Like
those nachos grande.
Yeah.
That'd be great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
That'd be good.
Let's do that, and then.
Wow.
I love how prominent the peppers are. I'm gonna do the Cajun fish tacos.
I'm gonna go with the Texas barbecue beef brisket sandwich, please.
I was looking at that.
For the ages.
Wow.
Let's go, baby.
Good?
That is...
Here we go.
Okay.
This tastes like their fryer is so clean that it's like, it just tastes so fresh.
Yeah. I can imagine. It looks fresh.
It's crunchy, it's airy.
Look at the bubbles in this thing.
so ready.
Oh my god.
Wow.
To the edge of the table.
I don't see this at many
No.
places.
Not everyone's gonna have a lobster mac. Look at that. Nice and steamy.
I wouldn't
Still
know what
looks
good
so
lobster
hot.
is, but I feel like it is. I don't know though.
You know, we started here with kids, and we've gotten old here, and you know, we have the children of people that work for us working here now. There's one of them on the door right now, you know, seating customers.
Wow.
This is wild.
Now this is something I have never seen before.
We're good. We're all family here.
Where does the ice cream begin?
Big
and
bite.
The whipped cream.
No more plate.
It's
Thank you so much for having us and sharing some of your food with us, because everything has been absolutely outstanding, and I'm excited for the next time. And congrats to 30 years.
Yeah, literally.
It's absolutely amazing, and here's to the next 30.
You know, the secret ingredient in everything, every dish is love. We put a love in our hearts into everything we do, whether it's talking to a customer or serving an order of honey hearts, and that's what makes it special. And that's what I'm looking forward to in 2023, 2024, the next 5 years, the next 10 years, the next 30 years, is continue on that tradition of just, you know, we are who we are. You know, we're not fancy.
Totally.
You know, we're kind of like the old Toyota Camry that's got a bunch of scratches on it, but you can count on it, you know?
Totally.
The white zone is for immediate...
Wait a minute. Have you heard?
This is a show to keep you on the edge of your seat.
Citizens of America,
welcome to the Radiocast.
All right, welcome to Radiocast. This week we are analyzing two different Superman shows. We are going to be talking about the Fleischer Studios Superman cartoons from the 1940s, and followed up by the live-action Superman of the 1950s. We have one episode that made the public domain there. So, joining us, we have Jack Kelleher, we have Joe Taft, and we have Am Carrero.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, so reason I picked this show, I actually kind of grew up with it. Back in 1997, Cartoon Network had a show called Cartoon Roulette. It was basically like, here's a bunch of random junk from the 60s, like the original Space Ghost, the original Birdman, before all the fun Adult Swim versions of them. But then they also had this old Superman in it, and it just felt like, oh, this is quality. Like, it just felt like, especially compared to the cheap animation of the 1960s, like, oh, yeah, there was effort put into this. And, you know, I'd be tuning into it because immediately after Dragon Ball Z would be on. So, just like, when I started doing research on what's in there, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, I actually vividly remember watching this as a kid and really liked it. So, how about you guys? What did you think of the Fleischer shorts?
I liked them. They were cartoons that I'd seen like moments here and there of them, but never watched them in their entirety. But I was aware of them. Yeah, that's all I got to say.
Yeah, I agree. Same thing for me. I've seen clips like on social media and stuff of these cartoons, but I hadn't seen a full episode. And I think it's funny that you had prior experience in the Dragon Ball Z. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I thought the animation was like really strong for the 1950s. I mean, I thought everything looked, maybe not everything, but it looked really good. The way that Superman moved around and the way that the villains like would do their thing, and there was a lot of fire and explosions and big things in like the finales of these episodes. Mm-hmm. And I think they all looked really good. So that's one of the things I wanted to mention right off the gate, that looks really good for a show for the 1950s, in my opinion.
The first one actually came out in 1941.
Oh wow!
It's actually the 40s.
Sorry, yeah, thank you. And then George Reeves was
that was the 50s. Yeah,
Thank you.
Adventures of Superman.
Thank you.
Yeah, some backstory on the quality of the animation is the Fleischer Brothers studio was a really big animated studio started in 1929 by the brothers. And like the 30s, they were kind of like the biggest like animation studio. They were like outclassing a Disney in the 1930s. And they're famous because characters like Popeye, Betty Boop, a Bimbo, they're the ones who created those first cartoons. Like they created those characters. And when they were approached about doing these Superman cartoons, they were at first hesitant because it would require them to do like more realistic looking animation, which wasn't really their thing. So they kind of tried to get out of it by asking Paramount Pictures, who was their parent company, for $100,000 a budget for every short, which in today's standards would be like $1.43 million per short. They thought that Paramount would see that number and be like, no, and then move on and then find someone else to do it. But Paramount called their bluff and instead gave them $50,000 for every short, which at the time and actually in today's money, it's the biggest budgeted animated short because they would be spending like $50,000 for like these 10-minute shorts.
Yeah, not long.
So even by today's standards, it's the biggest budgeted animated series ever.
Yeah, what is like the price per minute? You know what I'm saying? When you break it down, per second. But Adam, what did you say?
And I remember they put these shorts in front of, so I can't remember what movies, but they would put them in front of movies. So you would watch even when you got like the VHS version, you would watch like the short right before going into the movie too. Oh. So I think it must have been, since Paramount owned it, it must have been a Paramount Pictures movie. But they kind of like, if you look at now, like some of the cartoons that come up for superheroes, like this was the first one that really started. It was shorts, but kind of started comic books instead of just being read, being shown animated and shown in films.